Good evening to everybody. I think we have participants from all over Europe. This evening was focused on the activities of our former mom of a lovely little girl who visited us twice in the eating school in Graz, called Kahloh, and in a few moments she'll be introducing our evening with her story to give you a little impression of the perspective of a family who visited us. And Kahloh and her husband and this lovely little girl called Elodie was with us at the age of Elodie being 20 months in the October before COVID started, and came the second time just after COVID, when we had reopened our school after only 2 months. And Elodie now already visits the second grade in school, and I think Kahloh is going to start with telling much more details for you. And the idea is that she's going to make an introduction of about 10 minutes of her meeting with the NoTube team, and then give you another 5 to 10 minutes to personally ask her questions if this is of interest. So I hand the mic to you, Kahloh.
Yes, okay, thank you.
We are very, very grateful that you have helped us organize this webinar tonight, and that you in all these years have stayed a very, very active and wonderful NoTube friend for us, and answer a lot of questions of Dutch people before they come to us.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Okay, yeah, thank you, Margaret. And you're saying friends to start off with. I would say family even, because the feeling that I get when I talk and hear about NoTube is family. And I will get into that by going into my story. Some of you know me already. I have a blog, riceandfries.com, where I write about Elodie and our family journey with infantile anorexia. Elodie, I'm going to block the chat. It's a bit distracting for me. So Elodie was born and she had thrush. We didn't find out early. So when she was around 16 weeks, her sucking reflex was gone. She was not drinking. She would only drink sleeping. Also, she would easily throw her milk out, like it would project from her nose and mouth. If she was happy, then it would like blub, everything would come out. If she would be running, everything would be coming out. So I feel for her, she had when she was just born, she had many traumatic experiences with eating and drinking, and she didn't like it, and she was also highly sensitive, and we recognized that. And in the Netherlands, they were just like, yeah, it's all right. She will grow over it. And we went to multiple roads. We went to the consultatiebureau, to the speech therapist, to the hospital. We had a hunger provocation in the hospital, and nothing really worked. And we were at wit's end because I was force feeding her. So I would be distracting her. Like we were at least with 3 people in her home to distract her to eat. And then when she was distracted, then I would shove a spoon of food in her mouth. And our house would be such a mess. It would be like it would take 1 hour to have all the distractions available for her, and then it would take 1 hour to clean the entire kitchen. And then in the summer, we decided to feed her outside on the street, like in the child's baby chair. And then she would be infamous. Like currently, people still tell me, "Ah, yeah, you had that baby eating on the street," because she was not eating. And then I was like, "Yeah, if she's eating on the street, the mess will be on the street. It's easy to clean." And she would be distracted by cars and people walking by. And then in the end, we were like, yeah, there's nothing else we could do anymore in the Netherlands. And I started Googling, and we found NoTube. And then our speech therapist, she recommended NoTube for us because she said, that's an approach that is child and family friendly, because other approaches that we've we know in the Netherlands at least, they separate the child from the family. And Elodie had major separation anxiety because of what she's been through. And it took us quite a few years to get over that stage. And yeah, so we ended up going to NoTube, and we didn't know, you're afraid to have hope, because we didn't have any hope. I was sick. I was on sick leave. I was severely depressed. I had major anxiety and panic attacks. And when we were at NoTube, like the first few days, I was still scared because I had to learn to let go. And the team was there. And that's the nice thing about the eating school, or NoTube in general, is that you have daily intense contact. So whether it's at the eating school or during net coaching, for me, it was eating school. So the team is with you all day. They eat with you. They are with you. Then you have the special sessions, and they are very hands-on. So if you're in a during lunch and they see something happening and they're like, that's not, we should comment. They will help you immediately. And for me, that was giving me trust in the team, that they were really, onto it. So they were really onto every child that was there. Every child had their personalized treatment. And so slowly I was learning to trust, because I remember, Margaret, like after the first 3 days, and I was so stressed, and you sat me down and you said, Kahloh, you need to relax. Otherwise, you need to trust the process. That was the thing that you said, trust the process. And I had to let go. And then I was like, okay, so we are in a safe bubble with NoTube. I have to let go here. I have to let go in the safe bubble, because when we get back home, it will be different. Here we're safe with the team here, and that was very exciting for me, because I can be quite obsessive, to be honest. Um, and yeah, and the thing is, the explanations that NoTube gave us was evidence based, and that's something that was good for me, because normally we get, yeah, we're the doctors because we know, so just do that and then it will be fine. I'm like, no, that does not make sense, because my daughter is not reacting well. And for me, the explanations we got from the NoTube team was, they had a very clear explanation about why things are going in a specific manner. And even without the explanation, I could feel that what they were saying was, it felt good. So it's very hard to explain, but I had a sense of trust in the team, and I could really see that they really cared about Elodie and the other children. And we were there with 10 other families who also had children with eating problems. So it was nice to bond with them and to be in this safe bubble. And when after we left NoTube, it was very exciting for everybody, because, well, just to get back, um, after around 5 days, after the 5 6 days, I think most kids, they started to eat at the eating school, or they didn't need the tube anymore. They were starting to really feel comfortable about eating. So that was very, very nice to see. And then the next step, of course, is going home. But when we were home, I had daily contact with the NoTube team. And for fun, we had aftercare as well, I think around about 5 months. And we have exchanged 360 messages. So that gives an idea about how intensely involved the team was with us. So I would send messages, I think 2 or 3 times a day. I would not wait till the evening. I would, like, during breakfast, Elodie would not be reacting to food. Then I would already send a message, Elodie is doing this. And then during lunch, and then Elodie was doing something else, like, oh, Eva, Elodie is doing this. How should I approach this? I don't know. I'm worried. And then we would every day we would get a message back answering all my questions. And I think this is also where the key, the biggest differentiator is with the NoTube team. First of all, NoTube has in-house pediatricians, so that's unlike any other organization. And next to that, you have such intense contact, which helps you tackle the problems immediately. Normally, you have contact with a doctor once a month, once in 3 months, and you just struggle on your own and then try to figure it out, and you cannot figure it out, and you're stressed, and it's not working. And for me, the intense contact with NoTube was precious, and also why for me NoTube feels like family. And that's also what the people at the end of the eating school say when you have the round of feedback, when many people say, yeah, we were so scared and we didn't know what to do. And for many people, yeah, NoTube is their last. For some, NoTube is their last resort because they're not heard in their own countries by other institutions. And they say things like, yeah, NoTube has a special place in my heart. And many moms are crying because they feel so familiar and like a family with NoTube. And yeah, and that's exactly how we feel. And even years, like 4 years after we did NoTube, for me, we're still in touch with Margaret and Ronnie and the NoTube team. So we have contact still, we update each other. And just to give you an idea about how, yeah, that the NoTube team really cares about people. And what really amazed me is because in the Netherlands we're just a number, and we had a family in at the eating school, and they had a son with Down, and they were from New Zealand. And they did NoTube many years ago when the little boy was on a feeding tube. Then he didn't have a feeding tube anymore, but at 15 he came back to NoTube because he was not eating. I forgot his name, but he's on my Facebook. Charlie, yes,
Charlie,
Charlie,
Charlie.
yes, yes. See, and that's what I mean. Charlie has been in the eating school 4 years ago, and you still remember his name. After seeing so many families, that's amazing. And when you went to New Zealand on holiday, you visited them. So you went from Austria to New Zealand to go on holiday, and you took one day out of your holiday to visit Charlie. And I get emotional thinking about that, because which doctor or who would do that for me, for me. And that's why you feel like family, is because you really care about us as parents, and you really care about the children and teach them how to eat to make everybody's life better. So you're not, yeah. So just to say thank you again for everything that you've done for us. And we're just so happy with you guys and with the team. You're amazing. Yeah, and oh yeah, and now Elodie is doing very well. Just to give me 1 more minute. Elodie is doing very well now. She's eating very well at school. 2 weeks ago, she said, "I want to eat like the other kids at school. I want to eat bread and I want to have an apple." I ask her what she wants for her lunch. She eats. She doesn't always eat what we eat, but we know what she wants to eat, so that's fine. So she eats rice with chicken soup. She eats noodles. She eats McDonald's. She eats meat. And meat and bread are one of the most difficult things for children to learn to eat, is what I've learned. And it's yeah, for us it already feels normal. For other people, they would say she might be a picky eater. But for us, she's managing her weight on her own. We do not need any medical nutrition anymore. And yeah, we can take her out. We went to China for 3 weeks. We took her to Disneyland. We don't have to worry about food and what she eats. And yeah, we know how to move around her being sick and going out and about and just have a normal life. And that's something that I wish upon every parent who has a child who has difficulty eating. I think that's the that's the biggest summary within 10 minutes. I think I managed within 10 minutes.
Thank you, Kahloh. This was a very brilliant and very kind and sweet introduction and sharing of your story. I think I would like to maybe attach immediately onto your story, because I think you made a few very crucial points. I think it's the team is not better or smarter than others. We just have a very special emphasis. And the emphasis is our education, which we are very interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. And every team member brings their education, but keeps it in their rucksack. They don't have to put it in front between them and the child. They try and, with their special spectacles and the education they have, be it a doctor, a psychologist, an occupational therapist, whatever, they try and first meet the child on the child level and try to understand. And I think that's one of the things we do take a lot of time in. The whole first day is dedicated to understanding the problem at the point of the first eating day start. And we don't go in and waste a lot of time in talking about the history and everything which went wrong. And of course, the medical part of the team needs to know the medical story, because some children have an incredible complex medical story, maybe even with still treatments going on. At the moment, we have a child who had a very rare tumor in her spine, and other children are still in chemotherapy. Other children have kidney problems, cardiac problems. So the medical issues are not unimportant, but they never may be treated as more important than the confidence to the child and its family. So I think it's very right that confidence and trust in each other, because if we wouldn't see the potential of each child, we couldn't trust the child to be at the right place and to be suitable for the eating school at that point. And so we take quite a lot of care in doing the assessments, which some of you might have already been through. The assessment is a process after you meet mostly Eva in the free evaluation of our team, who explains the general context. The next step will be the assessment, where we get 3 short videos, one of eating, one of drinking or attempting to eat or drink, and a play session, and a few recent medical reports and a specific questionnaire. And after that, two of the medical pediatricians, assess the suitability, and if we need more information, we give you a short call. And after that, basically, the children with a feeding tube and the children with highly selective eating patterns, called ARFID now, we recommend the eating school to all children who are able to come to the eating school. And that means that children with an immune defect would possibly not be allowed to come. Children with very exotic infections might be excluded from the eating school experience, and children who possibly live too far away or are in a too frail physical condition. But everybody else, especially the children with picky eating, are invited to join us in one of the 11, this year it's going to be 11 courses of eating school, which is always a 2-week intensive course. And there we focus on trying to find out where the child is right now on the first Monday. And then we kind of make a plan, what can be expected to happen in the next 11 days. And then we don't stop working, but then comes this kind of second plan, where are we going to after that? And that's why many, many years ago, it's 10 years ago, we started the aftercare immediately after the eating school, which goes for 2 months after the end of the eating school. And this helps families very much stabilize what the child has learned in the eating school, and to get on with online support from people who they have met in person, which is also a big, big advantage. Yeah. Because you can kind of say, I want to work with her. She understood the child best. With older children, we work directly. The child gets its own children who can write and go to school, maybe 8+, already work with us directly, especially the picky eaters. And our range of age is like something like 6 months to nearly 20. Our oldest right now is 22. But I would say it's about the first 20 years of life. And that's about, that's the setup. And children who cannot come to the eating school are treated in the same intensity online, and especially the tube weaning program has a lot to do with children who partially can't travel. So they might still be on oxygen, or they might have medical lab visits twice a week. And the tube children are very successful also in the net coaching. That's the program lasting 3 months for the tube children. And basically, it's the choice of the family which program they want to choose, and we kind of help them find the best choice within the parameters which are possible for them.
Yep. And we did NoTube twice. First, we did the eating school because Elodie was not eating at all.
And she was on the tube.
She did not have a tube, but she was going to get a tube if NoTube did not work.
Yeah.
So she was 9 kilos at 2 years old. So she was like, oh, it was skin and bones, and her hair was not growing. And that's the first time we did NoTube. And then the second time we did NoTube, she was actually quite fat. You were telling me. I remember, yeah, Kahloh, you should be careful because Elodie is getting too fat. Otherwise, you will have to come back to NoTube because he's obese, and we have to teach her to not eat so much.
Never had that happen.
and yeah, and for us, the second time we came to NoTube because my work, my office, they have like this. They help with education and therapies, and they sponsored a part of the second NoTube treatment. And then we were like, okay, you know, for us it's some sort of holiday. We don't have to worry about eating. Elodie is amused. She can learn other things, and that's why we decided to go a second time. And at the second time, I could really feel myself being more relaxed. I saw Elodie was the chubbiest of all the kids as she was eating, and at that time she was a role model for the other families, and that's only 6 months later. And where other families were like, oh wow, and you came here only 6 months ago, and she's eating and she's drinking and she looks so happy. And for me, it helped me with my anxiety that she was, you know, I could really see a big difference between the first time and the second time. And for me, that was very nice because I was a very insecure mother because of everything that we've went through. And yeah, so that's why we went 2 times. And the second time we were focusing on how she could eat different things, how we could stimulate eating a bigger variety of foods, because we were then more in the RFID range. And how she could eat different foods, a bigger volume, and focus on that part. Yeah.
Very good. Maybe I would like to join on the theme of RFID. RFID has become an incredible fashionable word. And the first thing I would like to say, RFID is not a disease. It's not something you catch. It's not a virus, and it's not going to go away. RFID is a word for over average sensitivity, and this over average sensitivity can be olfactory, that you don't like certain smells or all smells. It can be visual, it can be tactile, that you don't like to touch things. Some children have many different sensory inputs which are oversensitive. So some children can't smell the food, don't like to touch the food, don't like it in their mouth, or have a thing about colors, for instance. And so I think what helps us at NoTube is that we start at the point, what is the child living on? What does it actually do, and not what is the huge list of expectations it does not fulfill? So we are high. So we try and focus on what is working now to keep the child alive, because most RFID children are not on a tube, but are living from some even less than 3 or 5 nutrients. And on the long run, even if it doesn't make them failure to thrive, there are very early social discriminations happening with this topic. Some nurseries or kindergartens will exclude them or will treat them as kind of special kids, which is definitely not going to help their courage to try new things. And the RFID children are have become a very impressive and very interesting group for us, because we often also have older children. The oldest boy in the course right now is 12. The second one is 9. The third one is 7. So it is male focused. There are much more boys than girls with this highly selective eating patterns. And each child in a certain way has its own list of specialities and food choices. But we have learned that the approach, the therapeutic approach in the group, is much, much more acceptable for them and enjoyable for them than the individual sessions. And most hospitals have nothing to offer than something like once a week meet the dietitian or once a week meet the speech therapist. And that's just never going to work, because it's a personality trait. It's not something you're going to change or be able to change with meeting anybody once a week. And we found that the group itself is extremely comforting for the children, and it kind of lessens the pressure and gives them more self-confidence to try things which they've been thinking about, but next to their parents, only with the support of their parents, there's too much expectation in the air. So it's better for them sometimes to be in a different room than their parents and to kind of do their own work. And we have a lot of very nice approaches which are fun, which happen in the group.
Yeah, if I can say something about that, remember when Elodie, she was not allowed to go to the normal daycare because they would not accept her because she was not eating. And so Elodie went to daycare at 3.5 years old when she started to learn to eat. But Elodie was afraid of food. If she would see a chair, she would start crying already because she absolutely did not want to sit in a high chair and eat. If she saw food, she would cry. And when we were at NoTube, she saw other kids who had issues with food, and it made her feel comfortable. We were comfortable seeing other families who had these issues, because when I went outside, I see kids eat a banana in 1 minute, and I get very angry and upset and jealous that they were eating normally. So for us, it was very nice to be around families and children who were having eating issues. And for Elodie, indeed, that released a lot of pressure about eating. Seeing other kids who were similar as her, I believe that was a big factor for her as well. And when she went to daycare, 1.5 years after NoTube, we were less afraid of other people correcting her. We would tell her issues, but still people would say, yeah, Elodie, just try that apple, just try that banana. And she would come home complaining, yeah, I don't like that teacher. She told me I have to eat that banana and I don't want it. Right? So there is pressure. And for us, she was at an age that, she could tell us what her issues were, and we could tell her, yeah, every teacher is different. But at the crucial age of 2 years old for us, that she was in a safe environment, learning her own boundaries and autonomy, that was very important. And we were not afraid at a later age when she was corrected or when teachers tell her something. And even now, sometimes a young teacher, like, they tell her, yeah, you should finish your lunch book, and then she tells the teacher, yeah, my mom says I don't have to finish it, I just have to eat until I'm full, and that's okay. So, and I'm very proud of her because she's saying that, and it's her own autonomy and she knows her body best. So being in tune with your own body, that's also something that I've learned from NoTube, and also for Elodie, that food is to nourish people and to stay healthy and to have a good relationship with food.
Yeah. Thank you, Kahloh. I would like to, now we still have a full half hour, open the floor to our lovely audience and ask you just to quickly introduce yourself and to pose, if possible, a short question, which will not need 10 minutes to answer. And I promise everyone that any specific question you would like to ask specifically about your child can be done by sending us a short email to the help@notube.com. And we will take it serious, and within 1 or 2 days, all your answers will have a first, all your questions will get a first answer. But now we have the chance in giving you the chance to ask directly. Do you want to say that in Dutch for the Dutch people?
Als jullie vragen hebben, schrijf het maar in de chat. En als er een kort vraag is, dan kunnen wij het nu even bespreken. En als de vraag toch iets langer duurt, dan kun jij ons een mailtje sturen help@notube.com.
Ja.
En wij gaan jullie een antwoord geven binnen 2 dagen.
Ja.
Ja? Oké.
Okay, who would have a question now?
Hi, if I may start, because Adam is a bit not comfortable anymore. So I'm Dana from Prague. We visited you 2 years ago, I think, with Adam. He was on tube that time. It's been already a year since he started to eat like normally by mouth. We still have the button pack, but we use it only for water, especially in summer, nothing else. But we have another problem. We are already eating, so this thing has been solved thanks to you guys. Thank you very much, because the visit helped us a lot. And now we are struggling with chewing, because Adam is still eating only like mixed. He's touching everything. I have to be careful.
Well, Dana, I can give you a short answer. Chewing, the same as getting off the tube and starting to eat purees and fluids by mouth, is a process.
Yeah.
And chewing normally happens at the age of between 1 and 2 when the teeth come out.
Yeah.
The children, want to chew everything. Now this train has left for Adam, and he has to now learn to chew at an age which is kind of delayed for his general development. And I would definitely recommend if you could sign up for a second eating school, because we can give you a lot of like exercises and playful things. It's something which can be started, but you can't, it's not a click thing. Chewing process, and also in the healthy child, chewing different textures takes weeks and months, actually. It doesn't just, it's not just a click, but I think if it's possible that you come back maybe in the summer with him, we would welcome you very much. And it's definitely one of the major issues which we find in children after tube weaning.
Yes.
And it's like the next step, and that's something.
Dana, and Dana, that's also something that we learned after the second eating school. So more focus on the chewing and the eating, and how to eat. So I have you online, so I can also update you about how we experience the eating school, the second eating school. So I will touch up with you.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
So I think, Dana, what is very important is to see that we are not magicians, and we are not, it's not voodoo.
A bit.
No, it isn't. It's just about understanding the complexity of infantile eating development. And it's like learning to walk. It doesn't just happen in 2 days. It takes months to prepare good learning preparation to walk, and then suddenly it goes click. And the same counts for all the complex learning skills, like learning to swim. Before the child's not in the swimming pool or in the lake, there's no use in thinking about it all the time. And learning to chew is something which has to be coming from the child. He has to want to learn it.
Yes.
And so he has to feel attracted to the things which will need chewing. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. But I'm very happy if Kahloh can encourage you.
Thank you. Thank you
yes,
very
I will.
much.
I will update you on our experience with the second NoTube Eating School, and then you can check how you will follow up with NoTube.
Okay. Thank you.
There's just a question come in with adults, 21 years and are fit. We have had adults, young adults, and up to 22. That's something, if the patient is would feel comfortable in a mixed group of adults and children. Adult with ARFID is just as welcome to come to the eating school as a child at any age. We have people at 14, at 16, at 18. If you don't feel comfortable, one can try to tackle ARFID online, but I tell you honestly, the eating school is just much, much, much more superior in helping you really confront yourself with new sensory experiences. And if this is only recommended online, you don't feel the same kind of basic support as you can get. And since the eating school is not only filled with children, but also with their parents, aged anything between 25 and 60, our adult patients never feel uncomfortable because they have enough other adults to share their experience with, and they don't have to sit in the baby group. You know, they will find team members to address their issues on their level.
Yeah, and for me, the eating school, it was indeed superior because we wanted to have the full NoTube experience. Net coaching will work definitely for some people, but we wanted to do the NoTube eating school. You have the sensory activities that you do, and which you can also continue at home in other ways. You have specific kinds of foods available at all times. You have the therapist and all the team around you, like 8 hours a day, every day for 2 weeks. And that's
I'll just answer that because we just had a question come in. The NoTube eating schools last for 2 weeks, from Monday morning first week to Friday lunch second week. They go every day from 9 in the morning till 6 with a lunch break. And the structure of the day is 3 mutual meals at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. So the families are fully fed, like they don't have to cook in the hotel or apartment. They're fully supplied with food. They also may take food home if they're not so hungry and want to take something. We have an own cook. And the experience is for 11 full therapy days, followed by 1 week of preparation and 2 months, up to 2 months of aftercare. And if then the situation doesn't feel like, if the parents don't feel confident enough and feel a little panicky about stopping, we have the possibility to take what we call a monthly aftercare, which Kahloh also mentioned. Like you can, from month to month, prolong your ticket and contact with us. And it mostly does work.
Yeah. And we are also looking at how old the children are who are coming to our eating school and what they need. And then we are looking which program from these children groups. And yeah, we are giving,
advice.
Advice. Yes.
Super.
Hello.
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 My name is Ciprian. Sorry, because my video doesn't work. I don't know why.
It's okay. I hear you well.
It's okay. Thank you so much. We have a little girl that she has almost 2 years. She will have 2 years old in 7 days. And she is born with esophagus atresia. And she is by the G-tube.
Yes.
And we want to, if we come to this school, what it will be the cost for 2 weeks with hotels, with everything, and how everything works after? After it will be another fee for the 2 months, or how is the...
No. The fee which you find on the web page and which Eva will write in the chat right now, the fee is something like 10,000 euro for the full eating school program, including the free evaluation, the preparation week, the 2 weeks intensive care in Graz, and the 2-month aftercare. And the diagnosis of your little daughter is very, very familiar to us. It's a diagnosis where we mostly even start the reduction of the tube feed within the end of the first week and of the preparation week. And mostly we can do the wean within the time which you visit the eating school. Sometimes we would discharge the child to go home with maybe one more evening feed. It depends on the oral catch-up, but it's I think the second most common diagnosis of all the children we receive who are referred with a tube feed.
Oh, thank you so much. You are really, really nice. And then all the cost, it will be 10,000 euro for 2 weeks and for all the programs.
Yes.
I am good, yes?
Eva?
Hi, nice to meet you. I've sent you a short message. Please write me an email and I'm glad to send you all the information, and we can also have a pre-evaluation so that you get everything you need to know. Yeah?
Yes, thank you so much. You are very nice and wonderful.
Also, the success rate in children after esophageal atresia is very, very, very good. And the only reason why they haven't started to eat yet is mostly the tube dependency itself. So in most of these cases, we don't have the complication of sensory problems and issues and psychological problems. They mostly want to learn to eat, but one has to have responsible doctors taking care of the rate, the speed of the tube feed reductions. That's our job.
Thank you so much, really. Thank you so much. And we will send the email. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Is there another question?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I'm Manya with my son, Victor. We are basically starting the feeding school now in March, at the beginning of March.
Lovely.
Extremely happy to hear all this positive feedback from parents and also the way you expose the problem. It really sounds like you know what we are going through, which usually doesn't happen with doctors around here and with pathologists. So we're putting a lot of hope. I guess there's going to be a preparation week because I have a lot of questions like, do I need to bring all the feeding gear with me?
I can tell you, Anya, I think you should also write Eva a question. She'll answer quickly.
You will get an email this weekend with all the information you need.
Okay, great.
And then you can contact me at any time with your questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Because
Anya,
the whole idea of taking the plane and traveling and
and you
being 4 hours on the way and really don't know how to feed Victor if I need to. It's already scary.
But you don't need to bring more food than for the first 2 days.
No, I'm talking about the gear in terms of tips of bottles that I've cut in order to be able to feed him, the special bouncer that he used for feeding. You know, I mean, like this special equipment that...
No, so it's quite easy. Please book another free evaluation and we can discuss it. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah?
Okay,
that's fine.
Okay, thank you very much. We really
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
You're welcome.
And I think, you know, because Kahloh mentioned that she felt that the NoTube team was somehow a family. On the one hand, we are a family business. We have my sons and my daughter, who's also a pediatrician, have come into the firm, and many of our co-workers and team members have been working with us for years and years and years, even decades. But at the same time, I do remember the whole issue of myself getting interested in the topic actually started when I was myself a young mother, and I was at the beginning of my pediatric training, and I had my first daughter at 24 when I was still studying, and my first son when I was 26, and had just started working in the hospital. And I just encountered so many weird things, especially in the night shifts, that children were being force-fed in our big pediatric hospital. And it was actually my mom identity which started thinking this is not going the right way, and not my being a doctor. And at that time in the 80s, doctors had no idea about child feeding at all. It was the nurses who were doing all the work and all the decisions, and the doctors had absolutely no idea. So the nurses were kind of working autonomously, and force feeding at that time was a big it was recommended, like the
It still is.
yeah,
Still is
and-
around.
well, we don't in
Very.
Austria, force feeding today is interpreted as an institutional abuse. We clearly say that this is absolutely not anymore up to date. But 30 years ago, it wasn't the case, and things have changed, and we definitely know, we all know that force feeding is not a method to help a strong personality, and these children are strong children. A lot of them have been through amazing medical stories, and they've been through a lot of very aversive experiences. And you know, if the whole power of a child goes into fighting the food, it's not going to thrive. It's going to try to win the battle. And one has to respect this force and this strength of the children and change this energy into wanting the food. And I think we have learned to understand the psychology of the children who often
this sounds great. I mean, I'm really
you have to
trying
often
to keep tears away from my eyes, because this really sounds great.
Yeah, and
because
one has to sometimes you have to work paradox, you know, you have to, the team has to give the child the feeling, of course you can do that, and then give the child the space and the time it needs to just to invent its own path through the task.
And it sounds great. It really sounds great, and we're really looking forward to
How old is Victor?
Let's say he's 1.5 years. He's extremely mature. Right now, he's 1 year and 8 months, probably already in real age.
Beautiful.
But 1 year and approaching 4 months corrected age.
Lovely.
And we have been through a lot of psychologists, speech therapists, but just bits and pieces here and there, dietologists. And I'm really glad that you have the whole team over there. That can really address us as a whole and follow us in this 10 days, in this 2 weeks time. Because we cannot get this here. We cannot achieve this, and we have been nowhere so far.
Very nice. We have another mom who's just joined us, I think. Yeah. We can't hear you.
You're still muted,
Yeah.
Very nice.
I was in the room with the boys because he couldn't catch sleep. My name is Alice. I'm mom of Jesse. He's turning 4 in May. He had a mouth trauma since he was a little kid. He didn't have the tube, but he had a very high tongue tie. We did it when he was born. We did his tongue tie already because I told the person that was at his delivery, his tongue tie is too tight, so he cannot eat. His tongue didn't even go up when he was crying, so they did it then, and it was not good enough. So with 3.5 months old, like, he would suck the how do you call it, the specifier of the bottle, he would suck it like flat. So we did it again, and he would like get traumatized. He was very traumatic when we touched his face or came in the area of his mouth. He didn't eat any bread or anything at all till he was 1.5. He had EMDR we did to reduce the trauma. That worked. And now it's a very long battle to get him something to eat.
So is that the problem now, that he doesn't want to eat?
Yes.
Okay.
He only wants his meat. If he can get cookies, cake, pie, he doesn't want chips, or I know Kahloh knows frikandel. That's what he wants to eat. He wants nothing else. And since 1 month, he started eating cauliflower, but it's getting less already. And he's very specific. He has periods of bread with sausage. Then
and
he has...
what would you like to change?
That he starts eating from within himself.
You're still kind of encouraging him all the time.
Yes, we're trying to stay patient, to
Yeah,
accept
but you
his
have
boundaries.
you have to leave the familiar home. You know, to change a habit which has been going on for so long, it's very good to get out of your house, out of the comfort zone, go to McDonald's, come to Graz, visit friends, go outside when the spring comes. But the kitchen can become something like a threatening place for children. And it's a good idea to leave the place and to also not take the full responsibility you alone. That's also too much pressure on the situation. And if it's possible that you come to Graz, you are very, very welcome, because this is a very typical story. Also, the tongue tie is more common than actually parents know. It's quite a frequent thing in children. And if it's not done well very early, it often ends in such a story as you just shared with us. So, Jessie, I'm sure we can, you know, get fun and autonomy into his eating, but the question would be, how can you receive our help? So just discuss it with Kahloh and she'll help find a solution.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. Just send me a message, and then also for the other parents, just connect with me, and I will help you.
We had contact already.
Yeah.
Lovely. We still have a few minutes. Do we still have some questions from the audience? Mira, Hazel, Carmelita. Carmelita, hello.
Hi, it's nice to see you all, and very good to hear, I suppose, all of the stories. My own name is Lisa. I have a 4-year-old tube-fed little girl. Just a quick question: how many families at a time are in Graz?
10, at most 11.
Okay, so it's a kind of a small number. And I know you're saying kind of the school runs from 9 to 6, which is obviously kind of a big block of time. Just from a practical kind of point of view, I'm just wondering, as in she's a very, very busy 4-year-old, as in like on the go the whole time. I'm just wondering, as in how to keep her, how will she be kept occupied? You know, as in, are they in
Well, I'll tell you,
classroom setting, like, or like
you usually live in an apartment very nearby, like within 5 to 10 minutes. You come at 9 in the morning. We have from 9 to 10 the joint family breakfast with the team and the families together, a picnic. And then we have one hour group parent-child, while the other parent has a kind of psychoeducational group without the child. So this is between 10:30, 11:30. Then we have a short play session. We have a lovely little garden, small, but the children can run out into the garden. And we also have a play room. And depending on the age distribution of the 10 children, at the moment we have a group of mainly older children, and the youngest is 22 months. And before Christmas, we had a course where we had only babies. The oldest was like 2 years. So every group is very different. And mostly the children, the little patients, find friends, sometimes the siblings of the other patients. And we mostly, at the moment, I think we have 9 children, siblings. So it's always, there's a lot going on. She won't be bored a moment. And then they have a lunch break between 1 and 3:30. And then you come back for the third play picnic and group. Second, you know, there are 3 play picnics a day and 4 groups a day. So nobody is bored.
Yeah.
You know, and if you have downtime, there's actually a very nice park, Hilmteich, where the kids can play and walk around, and you have the botanical garden close by. So there are many lovely activities in the area.
Perfect. And is there like a page that would have like kind of frequently used accommodation, you know?
Yes, yes, we have a perfect list, and please use the list, because we don't advise people to live more than 1 kilometer from the eating school. We have lovely flats around on our list, and parents who were not satisfied, there we took the accommodation off the list. So if you get in contact with Eva, she will immediately send you this list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, that's Elodie coming now. Hi, Elodie. You're coming for saying goodbye to everybody. Very nice. Do we still have one last question from the audience?
Hello.
Hello, Elodie.
How are you today?
Good.
Yes.
It's
You're sick
late
and you're
for...
still eating. That's amazing, isn't it? You've been eating a lot, even though you're sick.
So is Elodie not going to school tomorrow?
Tomorrow it's Sunday, but we have the carnavalsvakantie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she just want to say hi, and for us it's amazing that she's sick and she's still eating. She says, I want to eat sushi, I want to eat McDonald's, and normally we say no, we cannot be bothered. You just eat what we have in our house. So we're actually saying no. Sometimes we're not as flexible as we were in the past, like normal parents. And then now she's sick, so we'll say, okay, yeah, we'll go to get some sushi, or we'll go get some McDonald's. Okay, are there any other questions from other parents?
No. Thanks so much for your time.
Yes, well, thanks everybody. I will say goodbye to everybody. And we are very happy you joined us today.
We still have 2 minutes. Are there any other questions from other parents? Just to make sure. Alice is talking, but you're still muted.
Are siblings going as well to the eating school?
Siblings, at the moment, we have two grandparents. Please try and convince all the dads to come. We very, very, very much are convinced that the participation of fathers into the problem is one of the most crucial bits of the puzzle to make it repair, because mostly mums have been overstressed with years and months of trying to solve the problem themselves, and getting the papas in is just wonderful. They are very, very valuable. And in case there is no papa or nobody to join you, you can also bring a friend. You can bring your parent. You can bring, it's good if you don't need to come alone.
Okay,
and
so you come with the entire family. That's the
well,
best.
if you have 10 children,
No.
it would be difficult. But right now we have a family with 3 children and a lot of single and 2 siblings. That's fine. But we assess that before they come, you know, if it's okay to miss school. I think our possibility to offer good diversion is limited maybe to children up to about 10. And if they're older, we would give them recommendations what to do, but we don't feel that that's our core responsibility to take them. But sometimes then big families have their grandparents join, and the grandparents go and do nice things with the older children in Graz. Depends also whether you come in a school period or in the summer holidays. But Graz is a really nice little small city where there's always things to do, and we have the tram in front of the door. So you can go into town in 10 minutes and you're in the heart of a very beautiful old medieval city full of things. So I'm making now tourist
attraction.
So we say goodbye to you, and write us at help@notube.com. And we say thank you very, very much.
Fijne avond.
Yeah. Feel free to contact me on Facebook if you have any questions or how we experience it. Or I even have a blog about what to do in Graz for the parents who are going to NoTube.
Great.
So with our experiences, yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.